again, everybody. Today I'm going to be making Sokka's space sword from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm using a wooden stake that I found at the side of the road that's obviously really old. As you can see, I took off the kind of wrap that they put on it, and that's the original color of the stake. I'm comparing it here with a sword that my sister made, just to show you the difference in how much it's going to change over the course of me building it.
It won't be slanted like...
No, the tips obviously are different. Sokka's sword is like more of a medieval type sword, so the tip is different than this one. This one's more based off a katana, or like the Kyoshi warrior sword. And so, let's begin. Okay, I've now moved into the garage and put cardboard underneath the sword just to protect it from the cement floor. And basing off of some images that I've measured of Sokka with his sword, I've kind of decided on a length. So I'm not sure if you can see properly here the pencil lines. And this will be like the kind of hilt part of the sword, right below the handle. And now I do want to be cutting off some of the ends because obviously it's going to be too long. So to do that, I'm going to measure to my hand widths, just a bit above, and then cut off. So probably around here, this length here, I'll cut that off, and so I'll mark it and then cut it off, and then we will be back here to start working on the blade. Well, since it was so loud in the garage, I moved aside. So as you can see, I drew my really nice, absolutely perfect straight line. Well, it's not straight. I actually didn't even end up using a straight edge because I'm not that kind of particular person. So I put that, and now before I sand, as you can see, I kind of started sanding a bit here, but it's going to take a long time to just sand it into a blade because this is probably a ½ inch thick. So I'm going to actually just take a knife, like a hunting knife here, and I'm going to go along the edge, and making sure that I cut away from myself, I'm going to cut the corner like this along the edge until I get like a more or less groove in here, like just to have it more or less pointed. And then I will sand it down to finish it, and that way I get the desired look. Now that I have cut off the edges, like the very corners, I left the middle line so that I can still tell where to sand, and so that way I can be particular too. I've done it on both sides now, up to the place where my hilt will be. And then I'm going to take the sander. I have this little mouse sander here, and I'm just going to sand the edges until I reach the desired kind of angle of edge. Also, you'll notice that this side here, like the tip, I didn't cut the tip because I found I did that on this side here, and I didn't get the right angle here that I liked, so I'm just going to leave it and sand it as I go. It'll take a bit longer for the tip, but I want a more perfected look for the tip anyways, so I'll do that and come back to you. So I've made kind of up one part of this, started sanding it. It's a lot harder and more time consuming than it looked. So like I was just using that mouse sander that we have, but I suppose you could also use a bell sander. But since this is my first time really making something with this kind of angle, I decided not to because a bell sander can be really harsh sometimes. But anyway, you can see how I worked back and forth here on both edges, slowly working away the wood in between my on the edges of my line of my like my pencil line, and I just basically took on each side and I just went with the mouse sander again and again and again over that edge, and then did the other side, and then worked both sides from this top, like with this top angle here, until I reached sort of this look here. It's really rounded, so I'm gonna have to do more work on it. Not sure if you can see it in this direction. Yeah, you kind of can. It's really rounded, the actual blade here, so I'm gonna have to do quite a bit more work to flatten that out. One side finished, one left to go. Okay, so I've finished both edges on this sword, which is actually starting to look like a sword. And now that I've done that, obviously I have to do the tip as well, because I've done the rest but not the tip. So I'll do the tip, and then I'm going to take caulk or wood filler, and I'm going to fill in any little gouges or nicks that the wood made when I was whittling it and sanding it. Obviously wood is never perfect, so if you're making this yourself, I'm sure you will find that there seems to be a lot more knots and little blemishes as you are working on this wood, and I'm sure that caulk and wood filler will become your new best friend. Alright, now I have my wood filler that I'm going to use to fill any small cracks in the sword. So if you've never used wood filler, then it's so easy to use. Basically, put a bit on your finger, and then you just fill in whatever cracks there is, and smooth it off with your other finger, or take a wet cloth and fill it in, or like wipe over the wet cloth to take off whatever excess there is on the wood. Okay, so my my wood filler has dried to the touch. Not really sure how long it's supposed to actually dry, but it's dry enough, so it's kind of like glue, so I wasn't too worried. Anyhow, I've put it up. I've tied it to this branch. This is a tried method that my sister and I have used many a time to spray paint a lightsaber hilt or another sword that we've made. So I have here just black paint. This stuff is apparently for rust, but it was the only black spray paint that we have, and I will be using it to color this amazing sword of Sokka's here. So just following the instructions properly, I'm going to use it on the sword and come back to show you.